not at rest, trapped between worlds, consumed by darkness, not demons, not cartoons, but the weight of unwashed sins and promises. She was human once. She lived, she loved, she swore oaths, and she died without settling her past. Death brought her no peace. Instead, it left a thread, a fragile, pulling her back into the world of the living. This is not just a ghost in the fog. This is a soul that sticks. A soul searching for flesh, to breathe, to finish what was left undone, or to take revenge for what was stolen. The victim never invited her. The body is just a doorway, cracked open at the worst possible moment. Possession begins quietly. A rustle under the pillow, a foreign breath in the mirror, a word spoken that no one said. This is not a fairy tale, not an urban legend. It is written in ancient chronicles, whispered in the Kabbalah, born of a soul's desperate need to find shelter. And once the Dybbuk finds a body, the nightmare begins. Real, relentless. One soul did not find peace. She came back, and she needs a body.
London, a city where millions of stories begin. In the subway, in parks, and in old pubs. Angelina Sidorova is 21. She came from Moscow to study art at Central St. Martin's. She lives in a tiny room in Bloomsbury, dreaming of galleries and exhibitions. David Clark is 26, an analyst at J.P. Morgan's London office. His world is numbers, charts until midnight, and rare weekends off. Two parallels that were never meant to cross until one evening changed everything. That Thursday, Angelina had just defended a complex project. Let's celebrate at O'Donoghue's, her friend Sarah suggested. This pub, with its stained glass windows and live music, was their favorite. David, meanwhile, had just finished closing the quarterly report. "I'll have just one drink and then sleep," he promised himself, stepping into the same pub by chance. His usual bar was closed for renovations. She was glowing with happiness. He leaned against the bar, weary, only a meter apart. Angelina ordered the signature cocktail, Electric Blue Lagoon. When the bartender placed the glowing glass before her, David couldn't help but smile.
Looks dangerous.
Looks dangerous.
The safest thing I've done today.
The safest thing I've done today. Angelina shot back. Their eyes met. An Irish fiddle played Galway Girl. He bought her a second cocktail. She spoke about Malevich. He spoke about the beauty of Future's curves. laughter, then sudden silence between them, and the question, do you dance?
Do you dance?
That night in O'Donohue's, time stood still. David forgot about Angelina, about palettes. He found in her the light missing from his ordered world. She found in him the support she never knew she needed in a foreign city. Within a year, their chance encounter grew into something neither of them had planned for, but both desperately needed. At first, it was clumsy. Angelina's world was still student exhibitions, half-finished canvases, and ramen noodles at midnight. David's world was 12-hour workdays, Bloomberg terminals, and the pressure of proving himself in a cutthroat office. She would wait for him with a sketchbook in a coffee shop near Canary Wharf, her drawings littered with the faces of strangers, until he emerged from the glass towers with tired eyes. Sometimes he would be too exhausted to talk. She would simply rest her head on his shoulder during the tube ride home. There were bright days, too. On weekends, they wandered through Tate Modern, arguing over Rothko versus Hockney, or took long walks in Hampstead Heath, where David admitted he had never noticed how light falls differently on the grass at dusk. Angelina teased him, "You need more colors in your life. And you need a spreadsheet to manage yours." They laughed.
But London was not always kind. There were fights over the rent for her tiny room, over David forgetting her critique session because of a late meeting, or Angelina's jealousy when a co-worker sent David messages at 2 a.m. Once she stormed out into the rain without her coat. She found her an hour later, drenched, sitting on a bench in Russell Square, crying about being too foreign, too lost. He wrapped his jacket around her shoulders and whispered,
"Then we'll be lost together."
Slowly, their lives began to blend. David learned how to live among paint tubes and canvases stacked against the wall. Angelina learned to respect the silence of his late-night calculations. They cooked together, burned pasta once, perfected borscht on the second try, laughed over his failed attempt at blini. Yet in between these ordinary joys, shadows began to creep in. The first time at O'Donohue's, their ritual corner table shook as if someone had kicked it, yet no one was near. Her cocktail glass trembled, then cracked in her hand with a sharp sound, cutting her palm. The bartender swore it was a manufacturing defect, but Angelina couldn't shake the chill. Another night, they were eating late at home when the chandelier above the table groaned and suddenly crashed to the floor, scattering shards across their plates. David laughed nervously, "Old wiring, I'll fix it tomorrow." But Angelina sat frozen, eyes fixed on the swinging chain, pale as if she had seen an omen. Dreams began to trouble her too. She would wake gasping, insisting she heard someone whisper her name in Russian just before the room went silent. At times, mirrors seemed to catch her reflection a fraction late, as though she were moving separately from her body. Still, they tried to push the unease aside. That summer, they scraped together savings for a week in Barcelona. Days were spent under the sun at Barceloneta, evenings in Gaudi's dreamlike architecture. They argued over directions, got lost in the Gothic quarter, and ended the night with cheap sangria and a kiss under a cathedral. Yet even there, a black cat followed them for 3 nights straight, waiting outside their hostel door. Angelina joked it was her Spanish stalker, but her eyes betrayed unease. There were quieter milestones. Angelina selling her first painting at a student exhibition, David getting a promotion he thought was impossible. When she cried after hanging up on a cold phone call from her mother in Moscow, he stayed up all night, listening. When he had a panic attack before a major presentation, she sketched his portrait, placed it in his briefcase, and wrote, "You're more than numbers." But then, one autumn evening, As golden leaves swirled down Gower Street, they heard church bells tolling. Not unusual in London, except it was midnight, and the bells were from a church long abandoned. Angelina froze, gripping David's hand. "Did you hear that?"
Did you hear that?
She whispered. He nodded, unsettled.
By the time the leaves turned fully golden again, they had already endured storms big and small. Their love was imperfect, messy, full of laughter and shouting matches, silent treatments and passionate reconciliations, but it was alive. And every 14th day, they returned to O'Donoghue's. Same cocktails, same music, same corner table, not as a ritual of nostalgia, but as a reminder. That night was not chance. It was the beginning of their fragile, stubborn decision to hold on to each other, no matter what London, life, or their own fears threw at them. What they did not know was that fate was already walking beside them, invisible, patient, waiting. They stepped out into the London night. Rain streamed down neon, turning the puddles into restless mirrors of red and blue. Angelina laughed softly, pressing against David under his jacket.
Do you remember our first storm here?
She whispered, her breath warm against his ear. He pulled her closer by the waist. 12 minutes on foot, through the narrow lane of Cecil Court, until home. That was all.
Wallets,
Then-
phones, now!
Phones, now! A rasping voice cracked the night. David's instincts flared. He shoved Angelina behind him.
Run!
He barked.
He lunged at the masked figure. A fist cracked against bone, the mask sliding off to reveal hollow eyes. They grappled savagely, slamming against the window of an antique bookshop. David was stronger. He had him. Then a flash. Steel catching the glow of a street lamp. A swift, merciless thrust. The blade sank into David's abdomen. The air left him in a guttural gasp. He collapsed to his knees.
Angel!
Angel! The attacker vanished into the labyrinth of alleys. 7 seconds, and he was gone, leaving only echoes and rain. David dragged himself toward her. But when his eyes found her, the world shattered. Angelina's body lay sprawled on the slick pavement. A crimson line across her throat spilled into the gutter, rain diluting it into rivers of fading red. Her gaze was open, frozen in shock. He pressed trembling hands to her wound, then to his own. Blood mingled on his palms, futile, hopeless. Her pulse flickered, then faded against his wrist. Her soul tore free. No more pain, no more cold. She rose above the chaos, the flashing ambulance lights, the wail of sirens, David writhing, still calling her name. For a moment, she felt weightless, ready to be carried into some endless light. But there was no light. Instead, she awoke into a space between. It was as if she stood before an immense wall of mirrored glass. On the other side, the world receded, her body beneath a black shroud. David lifted onto a stretcher, blood soaking his shirt.
No! I have to be with him!
She screamed, hurling herself against the invisible barrier. It did not yield. The voices of higher powers whispered, not with words, but with finality. Your path is upward. 14 days she drifted, watching, listening. She saw David fight in the ICU, tubes threading into his arms. She heard her mother in Moscow sobbing into the receiver.
My little angel.
Powerless, she begged the void. Let me
go back.
Just to him.
Just to him.
Please.
Please.
Only the cold wind of eternity replied. And then, on the 15th day, David rose. He healed.
He dressed once more in his pressed suit, returned to his sterile towers of numbers and screens. He locked their flat in Shoreditch, leaving her sketches untouched on the walls. He chose life. And Angelina remained behind the glass, trembling, her soul breaking with a realization more painful than the knife itself. He would live, but without her. And in that grief, in that burning refusal to let go, something began to stir inside her. The thread between worlds tightened, twisted. Her love turned desperate, her longing curdled into hunger. She would not ascend. She would not release him. And so she remained, not spirit, not flesh, a Dybbuk in the making.
They unstitched her from the world in a quieter cruelty, not by flame, but by erasure. The judges folded her out of daylight like a miscut page, buried her in silence, locked her beneath the earth. No mercy, no miracle, only stone walls and torches that burn without warmth. Here, the unwanted dead are kept, souls God refused, souls hell would not claim. And in this darkness, one of them now breathes. Angelina. When she opened her eyes, she had the memory of waking, which is not the same thing as waking. The ceiling above her was stone, sweating cold. The torchlight stuttered, throwing thin orange knives into shadow. She sat up because the idea of sitting up was familiar, because memory told her knees should bend and skin should scrape against cold rock. Her legs, she thought, buckled, her stomach twisted, but each of those sensations was a lie her mind told itself. She had no knees now, no stomach, only a will that remembered pain and called it real. She stood and left the cell. The corridor unrolled like a hurt rib cage. On either side there were rooms cut straight out of the rock. No doors, just open mouths. Dybbuks lounged in them, alone, in pairs, in crooked threes. Ragged strips of cloth clung to their frames. Their hair hung like cobwebs. Some muttered to themselves. Some stared at nothing. All wore the same filth, the same look of patient ache. Their movements were small, ritualized, an attempt to pretend they still had private bodies. Yet the motions, too, were shadows of habits, not the warm work of flesh. Angelina touched the fabric across her shoulders because the habit of touch comforted her. It felt like something, and yet she could feel nothing. The sensation arrived like a photograph of warmth, detail, convincing, and utterly false. She walked, until loneliness demanded not silence, but speech. She entered a room where a woman hunched, hair white as bone, face buried in herself. Angelina tunneled closer. The memory of her knees going weak washed over her, and she almost, only almost, fell. "Hello," she said. The old woman raised her head and screamed as if the name itself had split her open. The sound rent the corridor. Angelina's chest convulsed. She felt as if she could not breathe, though breathing was a courtesy she no longer required. She fled, the phantom of panic driving her faster than fear alone could. When her legs could no longer carry her, she slid down the stone and pressed her back to the wall, eyes closed against the endless dark. She waited. Time in a place like this was a rumor. After a while, the corridor murmured, soft, intimate, and called her name.
Angelina.
She turned. No one stood in the passage. From the right, a woman sat on the floor with her back toward the doorway. Blonde hair hung like a pale curtain. She whispered the name again.
Angelina.
Angelina. Angelina stepped into the chamber. The light made the other's profile a flat, cruel relief. When the woman rose and turned, Angelina's knees finally, and only in memory, gave way. She crumpled to the stone and blacked out. When she came back, she saw herself standing above her.
Get up,
the woman said simply. Angelina obeyed, because obedience was a small, thrusting muscle she still possessed. They stood face to face, and the world narrowed to the two of them.
You're me,
Angelina said, a laugh that tasted like a sob. The other's smile did not soothe.
You're not the name you wear,
she said.
Angelina was a shelter someone gave you. Underneath it is your true name, Mariah.
Now you exist like this. Here is where the unwanted are kept. Here is the island of the Dybbuks.
You mean I...
Angelina.
No, I'm Angelina. I had a life. I had...
No, I'm Angelina. I had a life.
You had a name someone gave you. Your true name is Mariah.
The word landed on her like a stone.
Maria?
She whispered.
That isn't
the woman. Maria sat down and looked at her with a patience that had been honed by an eternity. They renamed
you. The woman who raised you taught you a different life. That life was a kindness and a lie. Here lies truth.
Maria, we are Tepes. We are not received by heaven. We are not received by hell. We are bound to this place.
We are given occasional moments where we may reach the living, and then we are dragged back.
Angelina tried to touch her own face. The sensation of fingertips cooled her, and then proved to be ash. I don't feel anything. The admission startled her more than anything. I don't feel anything. Maria's hand rested on her shoulder. The touch meant nothing, and everything. Because you are not flesh. You have memory without body. Your sensations are echoes.
Your sensations
convincing,
are echoes.
Cruel echoes.
Convincing,
They
cruel
tell you you are
echoes.
still whole.
They tell you
They will
you
lie
are
to
still
you constantly,
whole.
Maria.
They will lie
Remember
to
that.
you constantly,
Angelina's
Maria.
questions came
Remember
in a stream.
that.
Familiar anchors she hoped would prove real. She asked about the others, about whether this was forever. Maria answered, truths first, then fragments. Some here are quiet, some rage. There are worse things here than emptiness.
There are worse things here
Then said,
than emptiness.
there are those the judges bound
There
more
are
tightly.
those the judges
They are
bound
different.
more tightly.
Do not look into their eyes,
They are
Maria.
different.
The warning was
Do
as
not
precise
look
as a blade.
into their eyes, Maria.
Angelina demanded.
Because
they are not like us. They were bound for something else. Maria's voice dropped. Satanic. They were locked behind a door because even here they could do harm.
Even here
They do not
could
enter
do
human
harm.
hosts like we do.
They do not
They can
enter
come as
human
forms of
hosts
cats
like
on the
we
earth.
do. They
When
can
they
come
enter a
as
living
forms
body,
of
it
cats
is not a
on the
reclaiming.
earth.
It's a
When
swallowing.
they enter a living
If you
body,
meet their gaze,
it is not
you
a
will
reclaiming.
break.
It's a swallowing.
Angelina's mind reached
If
for the
you
image
meet
of the
their
black cat that
gaze,
had followed
you
them in
will
Barcelona.
break.
She felt, with that same phantom certainty, a chill and a pleading that felt physically cold.
The
She
cat.
breathed. The cat
followed
Maria's eyes locked with hers.
They use cats to probe the world.
Remember that.
Remember that.
Remember the lullaby you once heard?
The lullaby
Some songs
you once
belong
heard.
to us.
Some
Others
songs
belong to them.
us.
Later,
Others
when Maria
belong
led
to
Angelina
them.
through the longer corridors, she pointed out a door, ancient,
Never
iron-banded.
go there.
Never go there. Never look at them. They
Never
passed
look
rooms where
at
creatures
them.
chattered low, and others where a single whale had worn grooves into the stone. There was one chamber where a man of enormous height stepped into their path. He looked at Angelina with
God's
pleading
curse
carved in
is
his face.
heavy on
God's
me.
curse is heavy on
Help me.
he croaked. Help me. Her chest tightened with reflexive compassion, though she could only mimic the act. The idea of hands moving to help swelled in her like an image of heroism, and then she remembered the hollowness of her palms. She stumbled away until the corridor swallowed them both. Maria sat with Angelina in a quiet alcove and unfastened more memory for her. She said,
You were told your father died in an accident. That is a story that was given to you. The truth.
Caught a strange, exhausted softness. She did not die
He
the way
did not
they told
die the way
He is
they
here.
told you.
He is one of
is
us.
here. He is one of
Word
us.
felt like a
No.
cracked bell. Angelina's phantom throat worked around the impossible fact.
My father, my real father is here.
He is,
He is.
Maria said.
If you cannot remember him now, it will come. Memory is a slow thing in this place, but it returns, sometimes in pieces, sometimes in storms. If you go to the right room when the light is thin, you might hear him.
But do not
let hope become your cage. Some truths here calm you, others break you.
Angelina clung to the notion of flesh somewhere. A man who had once taught her to step across puddles without slipping. The image swelled and thinned like a film. I want to remember.
Tell me who I was. Tell me everything.
Maria leaned forward. You
were
given
given
other
other lives,
You lived
Maria.
among them.
You lived
loved.
among them.
You were named
You loved.
Angelina by someone
You were
who
named
wanted to
Angelina
shelter you.
by someone
She
who
was
wanted
kind.
to shelter you.
But your origin
She
was different.
was kind.
There will be a
But
day
your origin
memory
was
refuses
different.
its amnesia.
There will be
When it
a day
comes,
your
you must
memory
not let it
refuses its
destroy you.
amnesia. You must not
Rise.
let it destroy
She thought
you.
she felt tears, but knew she felt nothing, and tried to hold on to a single clean thing, the sound of David's name. It was like a rope thrown into a cave. Not all the Dybbuks intended her peace. Curiosity drove her to push aside a tall wooden ancient, iron-banded door that groaned like a complaint. Inside a chamber, 4 torches threw light over a rough table. A woman sat with long black hair cascading across her back. When she stood, the wood chair cracked, and the face that turned to Angelina was a thing made to frighten memory itself. Eyes sunk and coal-black, grin raw and wide. The voice that came from it did not pretend to be human. I am a Satan Dybbuk, it said, and the words
I am a
felt like
Satan
acid.
Dybbuk.
Angelina ran. The image of its eyes burned into the back of her lids, even as she fled, and when she thought she could rest her phantom limbs in a cell,
You must
Maria found
never
her
meet
and said
their
quietly,
eyes.
"You
If
must
you
never
do,
meet their
you
eyes.
will forget
If
the
you do,
thinness
you will
of being
forget the
us
thinness of
and
being us
become
and become them.
You will not be able to return.
They were bound behind
They
that
were
door
bound
for a
behind
reason.
that door
How
for
do they come
a
above?
reason.
Angelina asked.
How do they
Her
come
mind
above?
conjured the cat from the nights in Barcelona, the animal that had followed the two of them like a small judge-faced witness. Shortly, Maria said. They escape sometimes
Shortly.
in black cats.
They escape
scratch,
sometimes in
they
black
test.
cats. They
will
scratch,
try to
they
push
test,
through the
they will
veil
try
when they
to push
can.
through the veil
Her
when they
voice
can.
hardened.
They are dangerous even here.
You may doubt it. You may think they are not there, but they see you. And when the day comes, if a Dybbuk has chosen you, there is no escape. These are the souls even God turned away. Learn how to fight them before they come for you. The forbidden knowledge waits in the dark. Days down here had no clocks. They passed by small truths and by what the Dybbuks could hold back. Angelina tried to sleep. Her mind made a body for her to lie in. She felt a pillow. She felt breathing. But sleep never came. She learned that the motions of sleep were only memory, pretending. Above ground, life went on. David wrapped himself in small routines. He rented a flat. The place he and Angelina had shared felt like a museum. Brushes and canvases stayed where she left them.
He went to the grave he had picked for her in Highgate Cemetery. He stood by the stone and read the letters. He folded his hands like a prayer.
Forgive her, he said, unsure how to pray.
Forgive her, whatever she did.
A cat meowed. A black cat sat on the path. It watched him with bright eyes. He reached out. The cat did not move like a normal animal. Then it lunged. Its claws ripped his palm. Blood ran. He wrapped his t-shirt around the wound and ran to his car. Panic made his hand shake. He started the engine. The cat jumped up and scratched the windshield. Its claws scored the glass. David hit the gas and drove away. The city swallowed him. The scratch on the glass looked like a white scar. Below ground, Maria visited Angelina in the dark hours. She sat with her and spoke slowly. She told her how memory breaks in this place. She warned her about names and lies.
You will remember pieces at first.
Maria said.
Songs, smells, a hand, your father's voice. When memory comes, do not mistake feeling for being. Your mind will make aches and hunger feel real. Keep your mind clear.
The word father made something like heat in Angelina's empty chest. The thought of a man who might be real gave her hope and pain at once. Maria softened.
Your adoptive mother loved you.
She said,
She called you Angelina to protect you. She was kind, but she hid things. Those hidden things brought us here.
Why us?
Angelina asked.
Why me? Because something old touched you.
Maria said.
In life, we left things unfinished. Sometimes heaven refuses a soul. Sometimes hell refuses. Then a soul hangs between. We were never given a door out.
Angelina tried to remember David. She pictured tube platforms, sketchbooks, the electric blue lagoon. The memories came like flat pictures. They comforted her a little. She never slept, not really. She waited and dreamed without rest. The Dybbuks talked sometimes about going back. They whispered about short returns. They spoke of the feel of rain on real skin. Maria warned.
Do not try to force a life. Forcing a living body can hurt both people. We haunt and await for permission. If you force entry, you could break the human or destroy yourself.
When Maria left, she pressed her forehead to Angelina's.
One day, you will hear a name and know it's yours.
She said.
When that happens, follow it. Your father is here. He will tell you truths if you can stand them.
The island gave no kindness. It gave small, sharp hurts. Imagined food that never filled. Cold that did not change the air. Memory of blisters on feet with no skin. These things felt real and were merciless. When memories came, they were sharp and hard to bear. They were also the only things that made her head feel like it belonged to herself. She kept them like maps. She tried to use them to find a way out. There were no promises, only the long, quiet law of absence. Not every Dybbuk ends the same way. Some make a life out of memory. Some rage until nothing is left. Some manage to steal hours among the living and come back quieter or meaner. Angelina had once been a girl with paint on her fingers. She learned the most important thing Maria could teach. The mind will fake what the hands cannot do. Believing the fake can be worse than any demon. So she waited. She listened. She remembered in pieces. She searched for the father she had been told did not exist. She searched for the life someone had named Angelina. She searched for the thin thread that might let her touch the living world again. One afternoon, while David worked at his office desk, his phone rang. The caller was his lawyer.
Hello, David. It's Clark. I have some news for you. Do you have a moment?
Yes, I can talk.
David answered.
Go ahead.
Clark's voice grew tense.
Strange things are happening, David. The man who attacked you, the man who killed Angelina, he was found dead yesterday in prison. The security cameras caught everything before he died. His body twisted in unnatural ways. He screamed. He smashed his head and body against the iron door and the concrete wall until it killed him.
Clark paused, then added,
What's even stranger is this. The man was in the same profession as you. He had no criminal record, a completely normal life until this. No one understands it yet. The police are still investigating, but there are no clear answers.
David froze on the other end of the line. Words would not form. Finally, he said,
Thank you, Clark. Please, call me if you learn anything more.
He hung up. His thoughts tore at him, but he was helpless. He turned back to his work, trying and failing to bury the call in silence. Angelina stepped into the corridor. She turned left and walked. Ahead, she saw a woman sitting on the floor, long black hair falling over her shoulders.
Hello.
Angelina said. The woman looked at her for a moment, then answered.
Hello. Sit?
Angelina sat down beside her. She spoke in a sad, quiet voice.
I need help. I don't know what to do.
The woman replied.
The only truth for us is this. We are Dybbuks, cursed forever. But I will help you so your memory can return.
Angelina's eyes widened. She hadn't even told this stranger about her lost memories, but she stayed silent and listened. The woman went on.
Your time among the living weakened your mind here. It erased parts of you. Forget what you were in the world. Focus here, and slowly your memories will return. Tell me, what is your name?
Angelina lowered her head
I only know myself as Angelina.
My name is Tina.
The woman said.
And the most important thing I can tell you is this. Trust no one here. They may trick you. They may want to destroy you. But God will never allow your end, because your punishment is to last forever. You share the same fate as all of us.
Angelina felt a flicker of hope, but it vanished as quickly as it came. There was no kindness here, only endless torment. She rose slowly and walked back toward her cell, heavier than before. She longed for help, maybe even a miracle. When she entered her cell, Maria was waiting, her soul twin.
Sit.
Maria said. Angelina sat beside her, shivering with a cold that wasn't real.
I'm cold,
she whispered.
Maria smiled gently.
Your mind is still playing tricks on you, Angelina. These torches don't give warmth. They are signs. When they flash green, it means you are allowed to leave, only for a short while, to return among the living.
Angelina's heart leapt. Could it be a miracle waiting in the firelight? Before she could ask, Maria rose and left the room. Angelina stayed, lost in thought. Could she ever see David again? Could she see her mother? Her eyes drifted to the torches. The flames thinned, bending into a strange line. Then, from the depths, she heard a voice.
Angelina!
It was a man's voice. She listened closely, frozen. Again it called.
Angelina, come here. Fear and excitement clashed inside her. Slowly, carefully, she followed the voice down the corridor. Angelina! She reached the cell. Inside, a man stood waiting. Her memory flickered, his hand holding hers, walking together. Her heart broke open. She knew.
Father,
she whispered.
Places on this earth where the veil between worlds grows thin, where myth breathes, where history sleeps, not in books, but in stone. This is not merely a mountain. This is a monument to the divine, a question carved into the very crust of the planet. For millennia, it has called a silent, snow-capped sphinx guarding answers to our oldest stories. Did salvation truly find its rest upon these slopes? Do the souls of star-crossed lovers still wander its cliffs? This is Ararat, the anchor of the flood, the summit of legends, the mirror of heaven on earth. Join the journey and listen to what the mountain has to say. Ararat, secrets of Noah's Ark and conquering the summit of the world. On our planet, Some mountains captivate with their height, others with their inaccessibility. But only a select few become eternal symbols, woven from myth, poetry, and a universal longing for home. Ararat is such a mountain. This is not merely a summit. It is a living legend, a keeper of ancient secrets, a source of inspiration for poets, and a magnet for adventurers from across the globe. Its snowy crown is visible from Armenia, Iran, and Turkey, a silent reminder of the Earth's unity under the sky. Let's journey together to discover the many faces of this great mountain. Myths woven from wind and time. Noah's Ark, the most famous legend bridging heaven and earth. According to the book of Genesis, this is where Noah's Ark came to rest after the Great Flood. In 1959, a Turkish army captain, İlhan Durupina, spotted a strange ship-like formation roughly 160 meters long on an aerial survey near Telchikar. The world held its breath. Was this the discovery of the century? Today, the site known as Noah's Ark is a protected natural and cultural monument near Dogu Bayazit, a place of pilgrimage and scientific debate. Do the locals believe it's real? They might tell you. Somewhere high up, under the eternal snows, it rests. But it is not for everyone to see. Such is the will of the Creator. A flame of love and wrath. Local memory holds a tragic legend of love between a young shepherd, Ahmed, and a beautiful girl, Gulbahar, the daughter of a powerful chieftain. To win her hand, Ahmed was tasked with lighting a fire on the very summit of Agri. He succeeded, but their happiness was brief. Her beloved vanished into the waters of the mysterious Kut Lake. Ever since, they say, shepherds at the mountain's base play mournful tunes on their flutes, and a white bird, said to be Ahmed's soul, circles the lake. The famed author Yashar Kemal immortalized this tale in his novel, The Legend of Mount Ararat.
Sister Mountains. An Iranian legend tells of two sisters who argued in the steppe under the weight of their bundles of firewood. The younger, offended, cursed the elder. May you become a mountain, eternally covered in snow and ice, and be called my agony. The elder sister cursed her in return, and so they were frozen for all time. Greater Ararat and lesser Ararat, two sisters bound in silence, their quarrel echoing forever in stone. A name that echoes civilizations. The mountain speaks in many tongues. Agridag, Turkey, Ararat, Biblical, International, Masis, Armenia, Kuhinu, Mountain of Noah, Persia, Jabal al-Haris, Arabic sources. Each name is a page in the chronicle of the civilizations, Urartu, Persia, Byzantium, the Ottomans, whose paths crossed at its feet. A titan of nature, challenge and beauty. Master of the landscape, Ararat is a dormant volcano and the highest peak in Turkey, 5,137 meters. Its massive cone, often shrouded in a cap of clouds, dominates the flat plains. Approaching on the road from Diadin to Dogubayaz, it suddenly rises before the traveler in all its power, inspiring a sense of sacred awe.
It looks into your soul, the locals will say. Climbing routes. The classic south route starts from Dogubayaz, a relatively accessible path, though it requires good acclimatization and fitness. Camps at 3,200 meters and 4,200 meters, suitable for experienced trekkers with a guide. The northern Igdir route, more technically challenging, crossing glaciers, requires mountaineering skills, special equipment, crampons, ice axe, and an experienced guide. Important, climbing strictly requires a permit from the Turkish Mountaineering Federation, TDF, and a certified guide. The mountain's weather is treacherous and changes in an instant. The icy heart, the Ahora Gorge, Cehennem Deresi, the Gorge of Hell, is Turkey's largest glacier, stretching nearly 10 kilometers. Its blue crevices and seracs are both impressive and humbling. This is where many careless climbers have met their end. An ecosystem under threat. The mountain slopes are layers of life, steppes, rare juniper and birch groves at mid-altitudes, and alpine meadows. But ancient forests have disappeared. Overgrazing, erosion, and soil degradation are serious problems. In spring, even a light wind whips up dust storms in nearby villages. Lake Balıkgölü, Fish Lake, at the base is a vital water source and home to trout. But its ecology also needs protection. Gateways to history, fortresses, palaces, and sanctuaries. Ishak Pasha Palace. More than just architecture, it's a symbol of power and a fusion of cultures. Built on a ledge overlooking Ararat, this grand complex, constructed between 1685 and 1784, blends Ottoman, Persian, Seljuk, and Armenian traditions. With 116 rooms, a mosque, a prison, a harem, and an underfloor heating system, you can feel the breath of history here. Practical info. Open daily from 9:30 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. Pro tip: visit at sunset when the stone glows under the sun and the mountain shadows grow long.
Not all legends sleep in snow. Some endure in stone walls, in sacred tombs, in rivers that carve their own hymns. Around Ararat, the mountain does not stand alone. It breathes through fortresses, palaces, canyons, and songs that still rise from its valleys. This is where history became landscape, and landscape became memory. To walk here is not to visit a place. It is to step into an eternal conversation between nature, faith, and civilization. Urartian fortresses, silent guardians of antiquity. Dogubay-zit Kalesi, perched on the rocks, once controlled the Silk Road. The fortresses of Avnik and Patnos, with their basalt walls and traces of palaces,
are testaments to the power of the kingdom of Van, 9th to 7th centuries BC. Highlight: the views from the walls are a geopolitical map in miniature: Turkey, Iran, and Nakhistan. Sacred shadows. The Ahmedi Hani tomb is a pilgrimage site to the grave of the Sufi poet, 17th century. The Bayezid Grand Mosque, with its vast courtyard, fountain, and library, is an oasis of calm and a masterpiece of Ottoman architecture. The Hamur Kumbeti is an elegant 15th century mausoleum, a jewel of Islamic funerary art. Nature's therapy, water, stone, and wellness. Diyadin Canyon, the Ikhlara of the East, 50-meter basalt walls, the winding Murat River, footbridges, and picnic terraces. In spring, a carpet of mountain flowers. In summer, rafting and trekking. In autumn, a fiery cavern. In this, the Kudret Kopru, Bridge of Power, a natural basalt arch over the river. Diyadin Hot Springs, legendary thermal springs, 72 to 78 degrees Celsius. Their mineral-rich water, bicarbonate, chloride, calcium, carbon dioxide, is said to help with rheumatism, skin, and gynecological issues. 3 main complexes: Yilandli, Snake, Davut, and Kopru. The experience: combine a soak in the open-air pool with views of the canyon and a night at a thermal hotel. Balık Lake, Turkey's highest large body of water, 2,250 meters. Crystal clear water, speckled trout, and flocks of migratory birds, spring or autumn. In winter, it transforms into a vast natural ice rink. Activities: fishing with a permit, photo safaris around the islands, hiking to the springs, living traditions, museums, festivals, and crafts. Dogu Bayezid Kent Evi Museum, an immersion into local life, 3 worlds under one roof, a traditional home with authentic utensils, the Ahmedi Hani Madrasa with wax figures of students, a viewing platform for Ararat, and a palace section. Interactive exhibits on Kurdish nomadic life. Maya Caves, Maya Magaras, a cave city near the village of Gungundu, a labyrinth of cells, temples, and tunnels dating back to the 1st millennium BC. Look for khachgars, crossstones, niches for oil lamps, and secret passages. Secret: find the room with the eagle, a relief on the ceiling. Festivals: Ahmedi Hani Days, June 21st, Dogu Bayezid, poetry readings, Ashug music, carpet exhibitions, the Liberation of Agri, April 14th to 15th, parades, open-air concerts, and horse races. The Tastes of Agri, from Abdigor Kofteze to Memleket cheese. Cuisine: Abdigor Koftezi, fried meatballs in tomato paste, the signature dish of Dogu Bayezid. Hengel, dumplings with yogurt and mint. Hashil, a cracked wheat porridge. Jirish kete, pastries filled with wild greens. Pro tip: Ergul's Mutfa, restaurant in central Agri, is the gold standard for local cuisine. Souvenirs: Tiftik chorabe, socks from Angora wool, warmth and beautiful patterns. Agri Bali, mountain wildflower honey, and Jachik peniri, salty brine cheese, a taste of Anatolia to take home in your backpack. Practical guide: timing, prices, logistics. Key sites at the foot of Ararat: Ishak Pasha Palace, hours 9:30 to 18:45 daily.
Distance from Agri Center, 40 kilometers. Dogubayazit. Highlights. View of Ararat. Audio guide. Dogubayazit Kent Evi Museum. Hours, 8 to 1900. Daily. Distance, 42 kilometers. Highlights. 3D reconstructions. Cafe. Diadin Hot Springs. Hours, 24/7. Distance, 60 kilometers. Highlights. Open. Indoor pools. Diadin Canyon. Hours. Always accessible. Distance. 50 kilometers. Highlights. Photo bridges. Rafting. Maya Caves. Hours. Daylight hours. Distance. 45 kilometers. Gunbuldu. Highlights. A flashlight is mandatory. Dogubayazit Fortress. Hours. Daylight hours. Distance. 45 kilometers. Highlights. Panorama of the valley. Practical information for travelers. Getting there. By air, Ahmedi Hani Airport, AGI, in Agri. Regular flights from Istanbul. By bus, comfortable coaches from Istanbul, Ankara, Trabzon, Van, Kars, approximately 18 hours from Istanbul. By car, via Erzurum, D100, E80 highway, or Kars. Roads are in good condition, but winter travel can be difficult. When to go? Climbing Ararat, July, August, early September, most stable weather. Trekking and sightseeing, May, June, September, October, pleasant temperatures. Skiing, December, March, Gunekaya, Bubi resorts. Where to stay? Agri and Dogubayazit. Dogubayazit, closer to Ararat, Ishak Pasha Palace, Agri, provincial capital, transport hub. An eternal symbol. Ararat is more than a mountain. It is a bridge between heaven and earth, past and present, peoples and cultures. For an Armenian, it is the sacred Masis, a symbol of a lost homeland and hope. For a Turk, it is the majestic Agridal, the guardian of the eastern frontier. For an Iranian, it is Kuhinu, a witness to ancient lore. For a climber, it is a coveted summit. For a traveler, it is an eternal landmark.
Shahmaran, the eternal legend of the Serpent Queen. Love, betrayal, and wisdom. Imagine ancient Anatolia, a land where stones keep secrets and the winds. Here, among the labyrinths of Karsis, Mardin, and the caves of Adana, a legend was born. A legend that outlived